Hello, I'm David Cade, the CEO of the American Health Law Association. Each year, the Board of Directors approves a slate of esteemed individuals selected by the Fellows Coordinating Council as AHLA Fellows. These longtime members have shown a commitment to the association through their participation as speakers, authors, mentors, and leaders. They are regarded as one of the top health law professionals in the legal community, and all have been actively participating in AHLA and the health law profession for 15 or more years. While the bios for these fellows are posted on AHLA's website, it is just a snapshot of their many accomplishments. I want to give you the chance to hear from them personally and learn more about why they deserve the fellow honor. The 2023 Fellows class includes 8 exceptional individuals. Today, I have the distinct honor to be speaking with Claire Miley. Claire, how are you today?
Oh, I'm great, David. How are you?
I'm doing well. I'm looking forward to a little time with you this afternoon.
And
so I want to get started. Great. And I want to get started with, how does it feel to be an AHLA Fellow?
It's without question one of the greatest honors of my legal career, David. AHLA is nationally known and has some of the brightest minds in health law. So to be counted among the most distinguished of the AHLA members is high praise indeed.
Well, it's well deserved. It's well deserved. And I want to take you back a little bit. Why did you go to law school? And why did you select health law as a career area?
My dad was a corporate and securities attorney who used the occasional Latin term at the dinner table. So I think I was predestined to become a lawyer. My dad was very precise in his written and verbal communications, and I think that precision really appealed to me. As far as health law, I think I evolved into it more than specifically choosing it as a focus. When I went to law school, there was no recognized health law curriculum. And when I was in my young years of practice in Los Angeles, there were no healthcare practice groups at law firms. So it was only when I moved to Nashville in the mid-90s that I realized health law was an emerging specialty. And I think the intellectual challenge of integrating complex regulatory frameworks with a transactional practice is what really kept me interested for the next 20 years.
And one thing we've learned is that Nashville is the hotbed for health law and healthcare. You are in a great location.
Absolutely.
So how has AHLA helped you remain connected with your health law colleagues?
AHLA has so many different channels of communication, David. They have the in-person presentations, the webinars, the practice groups, the written distributions, that it's really easy to develop contacts across the country. As I said, AHLA has a national reach. And I also want to say that I think AHLA and its groups have an openness and a collegiality that I've not experienced to the same extent in other trade organizations. And so for me, a lot of my contacts across the country turned into professional and personal friends. I'll give you one example, even though I'm retired now. A few months ago, I got a selfie picture of the Regulation, Accreditation, and Payment practice group leaders at their annual dinner in Baltimore. And they said they were thinking of me and missed me. So I felt pretty connected.
That's a great story. And I think it's a wonderful story in a way to help the listeners understand how connected we are and how much we are, as you said, collegially sharing in the community, that folks would think that they missed you at the conference.
Yeah.
They did.
It meant a lot.
great. So if a new AHLA member asked you how to get involved in the association, what would you tell them?
I would tell them to join a practice group. In my own experience, after I joined the RAP, Regulation, Accreditation, and Payment Practice Group, the number of people that I knew within AHLA increased exponentially. So my advice to young lawyers is get involved in a practice group. And I know sometimes young lawyers are overwhelmed. They feel like they have no time, and they maybe have not, selected the specific focus area of health law for them. But, the good news is you can be in one or more practice groups. So just join one and get going. And even if your contributions are small at first, you're just going to vastly expand your contacts and your knowledge.
That's great advice. That's great advice. So I know you had roots at the table, listening to your dad, lawyer. But looking back, if you could give your younger self one piece of advice, what would it have been?
Trust yourself. I mean, I'm a perfectionist, and I think I wasted a lot of energy over the years with self-doubt. So don't waste energy, young attorneys. Just trust yourself.
Trust yourself. That is a valuable message. Trust yourself. So now, as you think back over your career, what has been the accomplishment you are most proud of, and why?
Great question. I have several, and I'll be brief. First, I think I succeeded fairly well in breaking down complex regulatory concepts for our clients and showing them how they could achieve their business goals within those regulatory parameters. When I retired, I actually had one physician practice manager client who asked to take me to dinner as a thank you for what I had done for him and his practice over the years. And that's a compliment that I will always remember. I also really tried, David, to mentor younger attorneys, to really spend time with them and help them improve their legal skills. And recently, I was fortunate to receive an email from an associate whom I had mentored as a younger attorney, and he later became a law professor. And he thanked me for my mentorship, and he told me in the email that he teaches his law students many of the same drafting principles that I taught him. And so that kind of compliment is just irreplaceable, and I'm really proud of that. And then lastly, I will say that some of my fondest memories of my whole legal career are working within the Regulation, Accreditation, and Payment Practice Group. I had the privilege of working with a really dedicated group of folks. They relished getting into the weeds on complex healthcare regulatory issues, and they were really fun to boot. So I feel lucky.
You've touched many lives throughout your career, and I think your comment is a testament to how valuable that touch has been. So again, congratulations. That's great. And thinking back, since you've touched so many through your mentorship, can you share what traits you feel are most important in being an effective health lawyer?
Sure. I think first and foremost, because healthcare is such a rapidly changing and fluid field, that you must have, as the kids say today, mad skills in research. You got to have mad skills in research. I think I saw a chart once of all of the healthcare related government agencies that impact healthcare businesses. And I was astounded. I can't remember the exact number, but there were dozens. So it's critical to have the research skills. The second thing I would mention is communication skills. As a health lawyer, you've got a lot of different stakeholders. You've got CEOs, you've got clinicians, you've got tech people, you've got venture capitalists. So you have to learn and speak in the languages that these folks use. So critical to understand that the various audiences.
That's a great message. That's very, very key in helping folks being able to communicate effectively and recognizing in this complex world all the different audiences that are out there. Thank you, Claire, for sharing that, not only with me, but with the listening audience. I know you've said a couple times you're retired. I know. So I have a two-part question, I guess, as we wrap up. So A, as we strive for balance in our lives, what did you do for fun as a practicing attorney, maintaining that balance? And now in retirement, B, what are you doing for fun?
Great question. So I tried as hard as I could while I was practicing to maintain balance. I think spending time with my daughter and taking her on trips during her childhood was a really special memory. I attended every single cross-country meet she ran. So I carved out that time for her, and I cherish those memories. Now that I'm retired, I can devote a lot of time to my avocation, which is music. I'm a composer, an arranger, a jazz guitarist, and I'm going to keep practicing. And I am also spending a lot of time in Maryland. My daughter and her husband currently live there, so I'm becoming quite the Chesapeake Bay enthusiast.
Well, we love good music down here in Maryland, so when you come down to visit, you be sure to bring that guitar.
Oh, yes, I will.
Claire, it is a pleasure. It is a pleasure to have a chance to meet with you briefly this afternoon. And more than anything, congratulations on being selected as an AHLA Fellow. Well deserved. You had a wonderfully distinguished career.
Thank you so much, David.